Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Guys, this weekend, how we doing today?
Yep. Just as expected. Cowboys in last place.
Yep. I got a question for you.
What?
Was that Aaron Rodgers or Mr. Rodgers yesterday? Because I couldn't tell the difference. I don't know. Did he go ahead and retire in the offseason like he was threatening to? I think he did. I think he just retired. He's now the permanent Jeopardy host because he and his team are in jeopardy.
Cowboys and the Packers have the exact same record.
Yep. Well, so?
Your team look good and lost.
My team's about to take off. Actually, my team has a tie. You realize that. They're 0-0-1 because the league awarded them a tie for their moral victory.
No, ain't no moral
they did.
One of those quarterbacks actually
you didn't know that, did you?
I did not know
We're
that.
definitely going to talk about Aaron Rodgers today. I promise you that. I cannot wait for it. But we have to start with a showdown in Kansas City. Heading into Sunday's game against Baker Mayfield and the Browns, the Chiefs had never lost a game in September with Patrick Mahomes under center. Kansas City superstar helped his team rally back from a 12-point deficit as he threw 3 touchdowns in the second half to secure a late fourth-quarter lead. And last week, Skip did have the Browns beating the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl this year, while Shannon has Kansas City going back to the Super Bowl for the 3rd straight season. So, Shannon, do you feel even better about your pick after this game?
I feel really good about my pick, Skip. The Chiefs were playing without 2 of their top 3 defenders. Honey Badger, Frank Clark played in that ball game. Chris Jones was a menace. He did what we thought he would do, and he was unbelievable. But, Skip, I don't really know how much better the Browns can play. You have 457 yards of total offense. Baker has basically 7 incompletions, over 300 yards. You run the ball for 6 yards a clip. And the difference in the ball game came down to, can you make plays late in the ball game when you absolutely have to? The game started to slip away, and Baker goes 3 and out, and the interception. Skip, you can't have that. That's the difference. Baker wants to be, I'm not saying he's trying to be Drew Brees, Brady, or Manning, but if he wants to be the best version of himself, those guys made their name. When they needed plays late in the ball games, they found ways more times than not to make those plays. And that's the next step. That's the evolution in Baker Mayfield's ball game. Skip, he was unbelievable yesterday. When you look at his numbers, 21 of 28, 321, a touchdown, but that horrible interception to end the ball game, Skip. You got to throw that ball out of bounds. Or worst case scenario, take the sack. You have a timeout. Use your timeout. You still have, 45, 50 seconds left in the ball game. No harm, no foul. But the one thing you can't do is turn the football over. You know this, when you play the Kansas City Chiefs, Skip, a lot of things are going to have to go in your favor. You're going to need to have to steal a possession. Hopefully they turn the football over. You're going to need to get somewhere into the mid-30s. You're going to have to get to 30. And then hope Mahomes plays bad. He plays like this, and they don't turn it over. You're not beating him. He can, Skip, he just can make plays. That play that he threw to Tyreek. We're not talking about guys that's playing today. There might be only 3 or 4 guys in the history of the game that can be rolling, falling out of bounds, and throw the ball 50 yards. You know he threw that ball 50 yards to Tyreek. There have been very few guys that's ever took a snap in the NFL that can throw the ball like he can and can do the things that he does. And so Cleveland, while you can take some positives from this, Baker, at the end of the day, Skip, you had a 12-point lead. You had a 9-point lead in the 4th quarter. You're on the road and the team is building. To be the team that you want to be, you got to win that game, Skip. You got to find a way to seal the deal. And I don't know what the hell the punter was thinking. Skip, he panicked. He still could have punted the ball. Where did you think you were going? It was 4th and 13. You're not going to race them to the first down marker. Skip, even if the ball only goes 20, 30 yards. The one thing you cannot have happen is that, and I think that was the difference in the ball game. One team remained poised, knowing they had been in these situations before, and they stayed the course. The other team all of a sudden started to see the momentum start to slip, and they panic. The punter drops a punt. Baker throws the interception at the end of the ball game. But I feel good. 23 points. They had 4 possessions in the second half. They got touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Field goal. Can you say it with me, Skip? MVP. 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 Pete.
Can you repeat after me? Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., best quarterback in football. MVP. MVP. He's already off to the races. He's going to win it this year.
He got 2 INTs.
Yeah. You told me they were both disqualified. You have no problem with either one of them.
I don't, but they on his resume.
What was that? Hail Mary, am I right?
The Hail Mary skip.
And one hit Fournette right in the hands and popped right over to my man Trevon Diggs, right?
A little high.
Okay, just a little high. All right, now, my turn. What did I see from my Super Bowl pick yesterday? Nothing but great. Loved every bit of it except for 2 mistakes late in the game. I saw a Cleveland Browns team on the verge. I saw a Browns team that needed that as a measuring stick to show them where they fell short. Because to your point, Kansas City made no mistakes, and they ended up making 3, but the first 2 were the most egregious of the mistakes. And you cannot make them at Arrowhead or you're going to lose. And I think that was a great learning lesson for the Cleveland Browns because Baker came out like he meant business. That was the best overall game under fire I have seen him play as a professional. I thought he lived up to being the first pick in the draft. I thought he played or I should say he outplayed that guy in Buffalo yesterday. We're going to talk about him, but Josh Allen had a tough afternoon yesterday, right? At home against the visiting Pittsburgh Steelers. But my point is that, to your point, 21 of 28 for 321 should get it done.
Yes.
When you rush for the kind of yards, they rushed for 153 yards to only 73 for Kansas City. That should get it done. And what did we see in the opening Cleveland drive of the game? They just took it and just stuck it right down Kansas City's throat.
They did.
75 yards, 13 plays, the last 4 by Nick Chubb, and the next, the 2-point conversion by Kareem Hunt. And they just said, we're just going to go for 2, and you can't stop us. We will bulldoze you. And they did, and all of a sudden, it's not 6-0, it's 8-0, right? So I'm saying, okay, here they go. And for most of the game, they were in control.
Right.
But 2 things happened in the second quarter that went completely against everything that I was hoping was about to happen. The first thing that happened was Ronnie Harrison Jr. got tossed from the game.
He lost his mind.
Okay, well, did he lose his mind or did he get the wrong call here? Because here we go, and he's just trying to get free.
Step on the man on purpose.
He's just trying to get loose. He's trying to get loose because he's getting stood up, and he's on the Kansas City sideline. He's just trying to get free. He's not trying to step on anybody. And all of a sudden, little Greg Lewis, the assistant. You remember Greg Lewis playing for the Eagles?
I do.
Because he caught a huge touchdown pass from Donovan McNabb that actually made that Super Bowl fairly close,
24-24.
It did. It put them back in position to win the game. Because he could fly now, little Greg. And he is the running backs coach.
Right.
So he is defending his own, right?
Right.
And he gets a little carried away, and he pushes. Well, that's out of bounds to me. He's literally out of bounds, and then he's double out of bounds because you can't do that. You can't push a player on the field.
You can't, and that's the thing is, Skip, you stay away from stuff like that. But I think when they called it into New York and they saw Ronnie Harrison step on the man, I think that was like...
Okay, so originally they threw only a flag on Greg Lewis.
Correct.
And then they go back and take a second look, and they say, well, wait a second. Well, I would have been fine with offsetting penalties.
Right.
But they tossed the starting safety of the Cleveland Browns in the first quarter. You're gone.
Yep.
Seriously? You're going to eject him for that? And he didn't start it, obviously. I don't know why. This is another one of those golden rules that I don't understand. It's always the second man. Well, why should it be?
Exactly.
Should that be the unwritten rule? I don't know why, but it was. He was the second he only retaliated.
Right.
He didn't strike him with his fist. He just shoved him, and his headset went flying back, and it looked a little more dramatic than it actually was.
Right.
Why can't you just say, okay, let's throw this flag here and that flag there?
I'd have been cool. But, sometimes they do that, Skip, talking about offsetting penalties. No, what precipitated it? What caused Greg Lewis to react the way he did? And I think when New York got it, Skip, and they looked at it, they was like, nah, you tried to pull in Ndamukong Suh. You weren't trying to get up. You tried to step on that man. And the man was just trying to protect his player, and he shoved you to get off him, and then you shoved him back.
I did not see stomp I saw tripped up. I saw I can't get loose from. And then as he's about to get loose, 53 for the Chiefs runs up and bumps him, and he kind of falls back on top of Edwards-Helaire. So I don't know. I just think he's trying to get out of there.
Right.
And remember, he played for Coach Saban at Alabama.
Yes.
So I think he knows the rules. Right. I think he knows what's in bounds and what's out of bounds. And do I love that he shoved back? No, I don't.
No.
Next time, do you just have to just swallow it?
Yeah.
Yep, you just got to
I ain't shoving no coach. I ain't shoving no coach. Don't worry about it. I'm going to take it out on one of your players.
Okay, but maybe he knew that coach was an ex-player.
Yeah.
Maybe he knew that he had a little bit of player still in him.
I hardly think that Harrison Jr. knows who Greg Lewis is.
I don't know. Well, you never know. He should, to me.
There's a lot of
it wasn't that long ago, right?
It was
2005, right? Well, I don't know.
Harrison probably 25 years old, Skip.
It was the Super Bowl at Jacksonville, New England versus Philly.
Right.
Okay, so that happened. And then on just a pretty routine, non-threatening running play, Jedrick Wills, the left tackle for the Cleveland Browns, who is everything to them. He is their aircraft carrier on the left. He falls down and somehow twists his ankle and is carted off with an ankle injury. And I don't know what that's going to go. And all of a sudden, Chris Jones said, aha, I'm licking my chops.
You see what they did? Skip Chris Jones is
switched him outside.
Yeah, they said, oh, we got the weak link.
And here he came, and he caused Baker nothing but trouble the whole rest of the day. So those are two huge losses because Grant Delpit's got a hamstring pull. He's coming off a terrible Achilles. But the point is, he was gone yesterday. So now you're down to your third string safety, and it put them in harm's way with, obviously, Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead on opening day.
Right.
So then we get to the third quarter. And the one guy I trust the most in the Browns offense is Nick Chubb. He's high quality, high character. He does not fumble, and he had just ripped off a 17-yard run. And all of a sudden, this happened. He just fumbled. He has another.
And he doesn't have a fumbling problem.
That's what I'm saying. He just doesn't fumble. And I don't know. He just got stripped, and here we went. Thornhill stuck his helmet in and got his helmet and just nailed it. Just a dead-on shot and dislodged the football. And it's just shocking because we're in the middle of the third quarter, and you're like, what? And it seemed like they were on the roll again because they had not been stopped the whole game.
You're looking at Skip. I'm sure they're thinking, man, we could really deal them a death blow if we go down here and get a touchdown in this situation. Because now, Skip, instead of 12, you're up 19. That's it's a 3-score game instead of a 2-score game.
It would have been. And it just took my breath away and kicked me right in the stomach. Because if you're going to do that there, that's big trouble. And so that immediately gave them a freeway to the end zone. And then the other thing is, you mentioned the punter. Remember, this is, what was the time? 8:47 left in the game. And you realize that's the first time Baker's offense had been stopped and forced to punt the whole day. That's the silver lining to this was they had not been stopped all day at Arrowhead. And now the punter gets in the game, and he's not ready psychologically, and he just muffs the snap. And to your point, just go ahead and try to Australian rules.
Exactly.
Come on, do something.
Because that's what everybody does in college now anyway.
Just sideways. Just kick it sideways. Just try to get it 10 yards. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. And he just panicked, and that was the end of that deal. And now the floodgates are open, and now Baker is in a precipitous situation. But the reason the momentum swung, and Patrick said it after the game, was the 75-yard pass. It's on the first play of that drive.
You got to make me some clock, Skip. You can't give him one play in 5 seconds.
And yet, to me, this is vintage Patrick Mahomes. This is everything I love and hate about Patrick Mahomes. Because, to me, this is dangerous. Oh my God, he called it. John Johnson is really good, and they paid him a lot of money on the free agent market. And I don't know what he's doing. He's actually covered him. He's beaten him to the spot that he's trying to run to. And he can't find the football. Look, he's looking, and he never saw it. And to me, When the ball left his hands, I said interception. Because usually for anybody else, that's an interception. Right. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay, it's wrong, right. But not only is it right, it turns into a touchdown. It wasn't that he just caught it for like a 50-yard gain. Right. He just broke, he just cuts the other way. And goes all the way back across the field. I don't know what John Johnson's doing. If you just find the football, you can at least knock it down.
But here's the thing, Skip. At that point in time, he sees Tyreek racing across the field. The thing that everybody is fearful of with Tyreek is his speed. I got to beat him to the point.
Well, he did. He had him covered.
Exactly, but the ball's behind him.
Okay.
So he's just racing to a point because he knows if Tyreek, we saw this in New England, Skip, remember he caught the ball against McCourty? And he just like, boom. So they know if he catches that ball at that point, it's over. He just overran the play, Skip.
Okay, I got to tell you, as much as I honor and admire the arm strength to do that, it's pure luck because you're throwing a jump ball. You're throwing a 50-50. It's just one of those plays where you covered it, but you didn't find the football. Mm-hmm. And if you found the football before Tyreek did, it'd be your ball as much as his ball.
Skip, in a situation like that, do you trust John Johnson or do you trust Tyreek more? And so that's what you're looking at. When you get a receiver.
John Johnson's one of the best.
Yes.
That's why he got all that money.
But here's the thing, Skip. If I got D-Hop against a safety, I'm going to throw it up because I trust D-Hop more than I trust the safety. I don't care. In a situation like that, I know John Johnson is a very good safety, but I'm going to trust Tyreek in a situation like that. Either he's going to jump up and catch it or it's going to be incomplete.
Remember, it wasn't a third-string safety who was in because Ronnie Harrison got booted.
No, he's the first string. Yeah,
he's the first string, and he is the stud star safety.
Yes.
And to me, Patrick just looks, and because he's got the greenest light in the history of quarterbacks because Andy Reid just adores him, and Andy Reid traded up to draft him, and Andy Reid loves it when he tries plays like that because that makes Andy Reid feel like I'm a genius.
Right.
Look at me, I did it, because he loves that kind of play. Well, that play can bite you, too. It can blow up in your face.
You know, and it's happened. We've seen him against Miami try to make those same plays last year, and he ends up with 3 interceptions. Remember, Skip, he's trying to make a play. He ends up getting a 30-yard sack. So you're going to have to live with some of that. And that's the difference, Skip, when you look at it. This is why you have to tip your hat to a cornerback, because the receiver knows where he's going. He's able to see the ball. As a defender, I'm just basically, okay, I'm shadowing you. Well, I know where I'm going. You guessing where I'm going. One slip, and this is what you get. You get a 70-yard touchdown instead of a knockdown because you lost track of the ball.
Okay, here's my other pet peeve about your man, Patrick Mahomes. First touchdown that Kansas City scored.
Yeah, you saw that? Yo guy could never do that. Yo guy could never do this.
He rolls out, and it's la-di-da, la-di-da.
Look at the back. Do that, Jeff. Take your time. What you want to do?
I'll deke this guy, and then I'm going to fake it, and then I'm going to do it, and I'm going to run. And here's my problem. It seems like, remember the Tennessee play in the championship game, and we showed it 1,000 times on the show. It's like the Browns decide they don't want to tackle Patrick Mahomes. And I swear, he's held in such high esteem by everybody in the league. They think he is the face of the league. They think he's the magic man. They don't want to hit him. They don't want to tackle him. You got to just come up and hit him like he's a running back.
No, don't do that.
You got to hit this man. You don't let him just lollygag around and then decide I'll waltz into the end zone. I'll just waltz.
That pump fake, it was a lair.
Yeah, he got him. But I'm saying, one of these times, somebody's going to say, you know what? I've had enough of that. I'm just going to blast him. Because back in the day, they used to blast Cam Newton. When Cam Newton tried that against the Falcons in Atlanta, they would just annihilate him.
Anytime any quarterback get outside the pocket, you're a running back. You Adrian Peterson.
Somebody hit him. Could somebody just hit him?
They can't get him.
How about grab his flag? just somebody grab his flag. I would enjoy it if somebody would at least put one hand on him and he waltzed into the end zone. And I'm sitting back saying, I guess it's not tackle. Maybe it's 2 below touchdown.
You see where he so casually flipped the football like, this ain't nothing to me.
Yeah, and then he's doing a little bit of...
Yeah, it's easy. I'm clean.
Well, it is because nobody hits you. Maybe they need to pass a new rule. Patrick Mahomes is fair game for everybody to hit. I don't know.
But Skip, look, you know what it's like. Look, Kansas City is one of the toughest places that I've ever played, and I've played in a lot of stadiums. And now that they have a team that they can get behind, they're going to have 80,000 dressed in red. And when they score, Skip, it gets loud. The one thing that you can't have happen is let the momentum. Once they got that touchdown and Baker went 3 and out, Skip, you knew it was over then. The crowd done got into the ball game, and now they're revved up. And they did it, and you mentioned it earlier, Frank Clark. They're like, hold on. What you do with your best defensive lineman, you run him up and down the line. You run him up and down the line, and then you find a weak link. Uh-oh, we got a fish. Now, when you get a fish, Skip, don't let him off. Don't you let that joker get back in that water. You break, make sure you land him. Frank Clark went up and down the line. Oh, they got a new left tackle. Let me try him. He went over to the other side. He got Conklin. So with that being said, they're going to get Honey Badger back. They're going to get Frank Clark back. They'll be a little better defensively. But offensively, offensive line looked a lot better yesterday than they did in the Super Bowl.
I would agree, because Myles Garrett was pretty quiet yesterday.
He got that one, but when he needed to make a play, man, he fired off the rock like he was shot out of a cannon. And he got there, and he gave Baker an opportunity. That's all you could ask for. Yeah, he was quiet basically all day, but when you needed him to make a play, he made that play. But, Skip, in a situation like this, you on the road, you go, 21 or 27 for 300 yards and a touchdown. You run for 6 yards a carry. You got to win this one.
I agree, because I don't know how many times yesterday Tony Romo said that was a big-time throw by Baker.
Yes.
That was a big-time throw. If we could just see a couple of them.
Yeah. Oh, he was dealing. He was dealing,
He
Skip.
was dealing.
Yeah.
And he was throwing with velocity and accuracy like I haven't seen before. Here's a deep ball. This is to that kid from Auburn.
Schwartz.
Ooh, yeah, Schwartz.
He can fly.
You know what? He can really fly, and he gives them a new dimension.
Yes.
This is Njoku.
Who's playing unbelievable.
Whew. Unbelievable.
But Skip, if you notice, everything is off play action because you got
late to Njoku. How sweet is that throw?
Yeah, everything is off play action because Skip, they run the ball because you got to honor it.
Yeah,
you got to.
Okay. All right, this kid, and yet there was another late one to Schwartz.
He dropped it.
And he dropped it, and he had it, and Thornhill came up. Thornhill played a great game yesterday, but I believe this is the one to Schwartz. Yeah, you got to catch that.
Yes.
That would have been, that would have maybe won the game. And Thornhill got a hand in and dislodged it. But that's, the kid's playing his first game.
Yes.
But he is a world-class sprinter.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, got to catch that one. And then finally, to the play of the game, unfortunately for Baker Mayfield, comes with 1:09 left. And as Romo said on CBS, he is trying to throw the ball away, and he does not see Sorensen coming. The safety's coming from behind him and gets him and trips him up. And as he's trying to throw it away, he falls forward and gets nothing on the ball. And you know the rest of the story. And you can't do it.
Nope.
No matter who's at fault, no matter what the circumstance is, you just have to eat it and fall on your face if that's what it requires, because you had just done good things.
Right.
There was a 3rd and 2 just before that, and he hit Peoples-Jones on a little slant and threw a little rocket to him.
Correct.
For 4 yards and converted, and then he hit a Kareem for 19 yards, and it looks like they're moving, and then that happened, and just the air went out of the game.
But it's over at that point.
Like when you least expect it, because he hadn't thrown any picks all day, he hadn't lost any fumbles all day, and then that happened. So learning lesson for Browns. I still like them. I think they will get better and better. They got to get healthier. So do the Chiefs, obviously, because both were playing with some disadvantages. But I think they will see each other again in the postseason.
Well, it was a good start. Boy.
No mercy.
Aaron Rodgers and the Packers couldn't get anything going against a stingy Saints defense as they were held to 3 points. The reigning MVP was picked off twice and held 133 passing yards during New Orleans' 38-3 drubbing of Green Bay. It was the largest margin of defeat for a reigning MVP in a season opener. And also, no team has ever lost its opener by 35 points or more and gone on to reach the Super Bowl. Well, Rodgers didn't shy away from the big loss, saying, quote, "We played bad. I played bad." Well, at least he was honest about that. Shannon, how do you explain your guy Aaron's performance?
There's an offer without explanation. He played terrible. He admitted he played terrible. The team played terrible, Skip. I want to give Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator for the Saints, Skip. Now, you know he can dial up defense. He was the D coordinator when Tim Tebow was doing all those heroics in 2011.
He was.
So he knows what he's doing from a defensive perspective.
Aaron spoke of him after the game and said he has high respect for him.
Yes. Skip, I'd have lost a boatload of money. There's no way I saw this coming, Skip. And what's embarrassing from a Green Bay Packers defensive perspective, Skip, you see stats like this in a college game when you invite Oklahoma.
Western Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Skip, what we're going to do, this is your athletic budget, your football budget for the entire year. Come here, get your eyes beat out. Our quarterback's going to pad it.
I was embarrassed for my Sooners. They even scheduled poor Western Carolina.
Oh, the same
75-0.
Or Georgia, Alabama.
Like, you could name it. It could be 150-0.
Because, Skip, when you see someone throws the ball 20 times, they complete 14 and has 5 touchdowns, it's in one of those type of ball games. You didn't expect to see that in an NFL game.
No.
5 touchdowns, sure. But you're expecting to see someone throw the ball 35, 40, 50 times. Jameis has less than 200 yards, threw the ball 20 times and had 5 touchdowns. But, Skip, they didn't come to play. I think the thing is they looked at it, well, we're not going to be in the dome. New Orleans has been displaced for 2 weeks. Oh, we gonna waltz in there. We the reigning NFC. We went to the NFC the last 2 years NFC Championship game. We just gonna waltz in there. They don't have Drew Brees. This gonna be a breeze, and got the brakes beat off them. You better respect everyone. You underestimate no one, and then you should be okay. But the moment those are professionals. You can't think just because you won the MVP, you went to the NFC Championship game, team's gonna lay down.
Yeah.
The Saints saying, you know what, hey, I understand we lost Drew Brees, but they ain't lose nobody on the defense. They still get after you. And Jameis, Skip, if you really look at it, and we be honest, Jameis can provide something for this offense that Drew hadn't been able to provide in a very, very long time. And we saw it that last touchdown when he threw the ball over the top.
55 yards.
And I said this last year when they were playing the Bucks. I said Jameis, with his ability to throw the ball over the top, he would probably give them a better opportunity because they're just sitting on everything. They're like, you can't throw the ball over our head. Why are we playing anything other than 2-man? Let's make him put the ball in the tight windows. It's not going anywhere. This was unbelievable, Skip. I still don't believe it. 38-3. I mean, it wasn't even close. I mean, I can see, you losing a close ball game. Skip, everybody had to lose. Everybody wasn't going to win opening day. But 38-3, nobody saw this coming. Somebody lost their shirt on this one, Skip, because ain't nobody. They probably took Green Bay in the point. They took Green Bay in the cover, and Green Bay covered their heads because put foots in them.
Okay, I will give you this. Speaking also of Oklahoma and Oklahoma's first game against Tulane, Tulane was displaced. It's bouncing around Birmingham, and game was supposed to be at Tulane, and finally it winds up in Norman.
Right.
And they didn't take them very seriously. They're up 37-14 at half, and in the second half, here came Tulane.
Right.
And they had to hang on for dear life, 40-35.
Yes.
So I'll give you, there was some of that going on. Also, I thought Sean Payton, who's got some genius about him, he does
called
not.
A magnificent game.
There's not one little rock left unturned on this. He's looking under every one because he chose Jacksonville because of the heat, and he also chose it because he goes on Expedia and finds out that the toughest place for the Green Bay fans to go, because they will go. But the hardest place to get to is Jacksonville.
Right.
You got to change in Atlanta, wherever you're going to change.
Yeah, right? you probably go from Appleton to Chicago to Atlanta.
Maybe, I don't know, Atlanta. I guess so, but whatever. The point is, it was arguably the worst game of Aaron Rodgers' career. It was the worst beating he's ever taken in his career. 38-3. He was 0 of 7 on third down. That's incomprehensible to me. 0 of 7 on third down.
Yeah, that'll get you beat.
He had the single worst QBR of the entire week 1. This is the reigning MVP. A scale of 0 to 100, had a QBR of 13.5, the worst of all those kid quarterbacks, all the Max and even the Tua and Zach and Trevor Lawrence. This was the lowest.
Oh, he had that Chamberlain, huh? He had that Will Chamberlain, that 13.
He had number 13. He did. And the point was to me that they didn't show up because he didn't show up. And it was clear from the first snap of the game, he was not there. I don't know. He looked checked out to me. And the weird part about it is, even when I was watching our pregame show here on Fox, and I'm watching the interview that Aaron Andrews did with him, I'm saying, what is he doing? What's his new image? Can we just see a flash of this? I just want to show.
you know.
This is Aaron. He's got a man bun going. He's got his hair pulled back behind him. And I'm thinking, he looks like an aging, gray-bearded hippie folk singer to me. And then I look, and he's done a commercial for State Farm in which he is like an aging folk singer. I don't know if that's his new look, his new approach.
Cali does that.
But everything is peace and love.
Yep.
And I'm just going to enjoy the ride. And they wanted to replace me. And how would you feel? And it's all, oh, woe am I. And I just had to make peace with it. And then yesterday, he looked semi-retired, like he wasn't as in. Last year, he was at least driven to say, okay, watch this. Right. I'm going to stick it to my own management by winning the MVP. And he didn't just win the MVP, he just ran away with the MVP.
He did.
Well, how do you go from running away with the MVP to that? Well, something psychologically, something emotionally was missing in the whole team. Now, he didn't have Bakhtiari, obviously his left tackle and his best friend on the team, rehabbing from his knee.
Yeah, little pup.
Yeah, whew. But I'm even looking at this stat. When he had at least 2.5 seconds or more to throw, he was only 4.15. It wasn't like they were rocking him. It wasn't like they were all over him.
They were
all
covering
day.
his guys.
Yeah, they were just covering. And he acted like we got surprised by their two shell. So it's just like a cover two. It's two deep safeties. Yeah. And they're just playing back. They're not trying to force anything. They're not coming after him. Right. They're just sitting back in coverage. Well, Aaron, you've been around for a while. You can't figure that one out on the fly?
Well, the thing is, and they don't respect the running game. Normally, when someone plays cover two, they're saying, we can stop your run with our front seven. We don't need to drop that safety down to go one-on-one with your wide receivers. So what we're going to do, we saw this in the Super Bowl. Tampa played exclusively cover two. Y'all can't run the football.
Yep.
Cleveland played it yesterday against Kansas City. So, Skip, I used to tell TD all the time, a team playing us cover two, TD, run their ass out of this cover two, make them drop that safety down.
Okay, and speaking of that, if we could see the rushing yards here.
Well, it couldn't have been many.
New Orleans ran 39 times for 171 yards.
What Green Bay had?
Green Bay had 15 for 43.
No. Well, they gonna stand
Aaron
up.
Jones, who usually does damage, was 5 for 14. If he'd been playing Dallas yesterday, he would have had 5 for 105.
No, Aaron Jones was 5 for 9.
For 9.
Kay Hill had 5 for 14.
14. Okay. So the point is, they couldn't run it.
Well, it's over there.
And very quickly, they couldn't even try to run it because they fell behind so fast.
Yeah.
And the other thing that was shocking to me was, usually Aaron is by far, again, if he's up against Jameis, he's going to out-efficiency him to death, right?
Yeah.
So in the red zone, Aaron goes 0 for 2, and in the red zone, Jameis goes 4 for 4. Well, that'll do it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then if we could see Aaron's 2 interceptions, they were take-your-breath interceptions because I don't see him do these things. If we could please see the first ones. This is the ugly one. This is like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I don't know what he's doing. Just panicky.
Yeah, he did.
He looked like he was a first-year quarterback.
Just eat this one, Aaron.
Yeah.
Just eat this one.
Because that was just awful.
Yeah, just eat it.
That wasn't even close, and you know the rest of that story. And then he's got one that he throws out of the end zone, and usually when he winds up in the end zone and lets it fly, I'm like, oh, he's got something here.
Still.
And wait, the safety's got this. Just like the safety was his primary receiver.
But even if the safety wasn't there, Skip, the corner is on top of his receiver.
He was not open.
Yeah.
It's just like a desperate, I hope he catches this kind of throw.
But when you look at it from all 22, Skip, ain't nobody open.
Nobody.
I mean, not one person is open on that route.
Okay.
You look at they got the tight end doubled on the basic cross. They got Adams locked up on the other side.
Okay, so it came across to me as a what the hell throw. Like, I'm the MVP. I became a sympathetic figure through the offseason. Packer Nation loves me again. I'm back in their good graces. What the hell? I'll just let this one fly.
You threw that ball 60 yards.
Okay, and it got you what? It almost got you a pick six because he almost returned it all the way for a touchdown.
Well, the other one like they got pick six also.
I got it. That was almost 2. And I remind you, he almost threw two pick sixes. The last time that he lost 38 to something, it was 38-10 at Tampa.
And what happened?
Yeah.
He went on a hot streak and ended up, where did he end up at? championship game, so be careful.
And then what happened in the fourth quarter of the championship game? He stunk it up.
You know, this is the third time that he's lost week one. The 3 other times he won the division.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's not hard to do. And even when I consider this year's division, after what I saw of the Bears, the Lions at least showed some fight and fought back. And Kirk Cousins lost to Cincinnati. You like that? So it's like it's a cakewalk division. It's hard. Maybe that's what Aaron's thinking. We'll just cakewalk.
Nah, they ain't gonna cakewalk division.
Because his whole point after the game was, it's 1 of 17.
It's one game, Skip. Yeah, he said we got 16 more.
He's going to go home, have 5 fingers of tequila or whatever he has. I don't know, whatever his drink of choice is, and sleep it off, and he'll be ready to go tomorrow. Right?
Skip, look, ain't no way around it. You have 133 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
They're 1 of 10 on third down.
No, well, he was 0 of 7.
Yeah. You're not.
Because the kid came in and mopped up, and actually, I thought Jordan Love looked better than Aaron, but it's not hard to look better than Aaron when he's playing
when you're playing that bad, Skip. So for me, look, there's enough Look, Aaron has to play well. It's predicated on them. It's getting a lead, and then the defense can unleash. Well, they're playing from behind.
Yep.
They couldn't stop the run, so now Jameis has all day to play action pass and throw the ball down the field.
Yep.
Green Bay couldn't run.
Yep.
So now Dennis Allen just unleashed the hounds on Aaron because there's no threat of running the football.
Yep.
And a lot of times, Skip, they were getting there with just 4. It wasn't like they were sending extra people. They were just hunting with 4.
So here's another stat for you. First half, time of possession, New Orleans had 21 minutes to only 9 minutes. Do you realize that's the largest margin of time of possession in a half since 2000? Wow. That just shows you they were not ready to play. Maybe they underestimated. Maybe they're looking at Aaron and he's like in a what the hell kind of mood, and they don't respond to a New Orleans team that was much readier to play.
Yeah.
So now let's flip the script and look at what Jameis did. Would you believe that Jameis, who was the all-time, again, the year before Brady went to Tampa, obviously, he was the first to go 30-30, 30-plus touchdowns and 30-plus interceptions, and he lost 5 fumbles.
Right.
It's impossibly great and bad.
Right.
But would you believe that, what if I told you that Jameis yesterday would go 14 of 20 for only 148, including the last touchdown that was 55 yards? So all the way until the end of the game, when it was still barely a game, an early fourth quarter, did he throw for 55 that got him barely over 100 yards passing?
Right.
But guess what he did in the red zone? He went 4 for 4. And if we could quickly see his touchdown passes, this is efficiency. I never thought I would put efficient in the same sentence with Jameis Winston, but here he goes. Here he goes. That's the... Yeah, there's that one to
even Chris Hogan caught a touchdown.
Chris Hogan did. That's the
he's back, Skip.
I know. Chris Hogan is back. 7-11. He's always open, remember? Chris Hogan. Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah, all the old Patriots caught a touchdown. Amendola even caught one yesterday for the Texans.
Yep, he did. He sure did. But there's Chris Hogan. Okay, so the point is he's making play after play after play that are the plays to make in an offense run by Sean Payton that used to feature Drew Brees, and we'll see as this year goes on. But again, I'm not going to take anything away from the great Drew Brees, but it was always an issue of, was it more Sean Payton or Drew Brees?
Right.
Did Sean Payton make Drew Brees or vice versa?
Right.
Well, which way is it? I've decided that Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre made Mike McCarthy.
Right.
Well, I'm starting to wonder if maybe Sean Payton was at least 50% of the equation with Jameis.
He's definitely dialing it up, Skip.
Right.
Look, you let a team go perfect in the red zone. You're not beating them unless they turn it over, Skip.
Yep.
But if they get down there and they cash it in and you don't make them kick field goals, you're gonna lose.
Yeah. You know what? It's going to be fascinating to watch Jameis under Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Can he be as effective as Drew? Because to your point, got a much bigger arm than Drew.
Yeah.
And by the way, he ran for a first down early. If we could see that real quick.
Yeah,
but he can run.
Yeah, but Skip, you don't want to take this kind of punishment.
Okay, but he just took off. He can really run. I mean,
I'm liking it at this point, Skip.
Okay, I like this.
But I don't like that.
All right.
I don't like that.
But it's Cam-esque. It's where you say, okay, I'm going to show, because you don't think it fires up your teammates a little bit? Yeah,
but that's your right shoulder. You don't want to try to make a living doing that, Skip. In certain situations, and Skip, you got to understand now, first start since 2019, new team. I got to show I'm the leader. Y'all believe in me. This is what I'm willing to do for you guys. So you do some things, you sacrifice, knowing that against your better judgment, you probably shouldn't, but you want to show your coaches, you want to show your new teammates that I'm here for you,
New
bro.
Orleans had 10 new starters yesterday and looked like New Orleans.
They look good. They look really good.
Jameis did look really, really good. Good stuff, guys. And Aaron Rodgers, we'll see if the Pack figure this one out. We got to talk about a different team, new QB, Mac Jones. He looked promising in his rookie debut for the Patriots as he threw for 281 yards and his first career touchdown. But it wasn't enough as Tua and the Dolphins would secure a 17-16 win as they forced a fumble in the fourth quarter before running the clock out. Well, Bill Belichick chimed in on his team's mishandling of the football, saying, quote, just missed too many opportunities to win. That is a Belichick quote, like all of them. Shannon, should Belichick be encouraged or discouraged by what happened yesterday?
I would be encouraged, Skip, because the moment didn't seem too big for my rookie quarterback starting his first game in the NFL. He looked very comfortable. He looks like he's been here, done that before. What surprised me, Skip, was we're not used to a Patriot team committing these kind of mistakes down the stretch. They force other teams to commit these types of mistakes down the stretch. Harris fumbling the football, I'd have bet money that he wouldn't have done this because it looks like they're about to go in, Skip, and take the lead. Even with a touchdown or even kick the field goal, he fumbles it, and then you see Jonnu Smith. He's tumbling, he's in the air, he's tumbling, and the ball comes out. But Mac Jones, the way he threw the ball, Skip, he threw the ball yesterday, had some velocity, Skip. I know the first game we saw like, well, damn, arm don't look too tight to me. But now he's driving the ball, the way he's protecting the ball, climbing the pocket, going through his progressions. He looked good. They ran the ball really well. 30 carries, $125. We knew they were going to try to run the football. 29. Now, that's more attempts than I thought, Skip, that he would have. I didn't expect him to have that many attempts. 39 attempts. He was 29 of 39, 281 a touchdown. Only had one sack. He played really, really, really well. But another thing, 8 penalties. That's not Coach Belichick team. 2 turnovers. That's not a Coach Belichick team. So I believe he should be encouraged because his quarterback played well enough. But the guys around him with the turnovers and the fumbles cost you ball games, and I think that's something that Coach Belichick is going to put up on the screen today and show them. This is how we lost. This is how you lose a lot of ball games. This is what we normally don't do, and this is why we've had the success over the last 2 decades. Turn it over, you lose in this league.
So my big picture takeaway was New England managed to score only 16 points in a home opener in Foxborough and lost 17-16 to a Tua I don't love. I don't buy. Tua was hit and miss. If I just shown you long stretches of game tape, you would have said New England won the game easily because Mac threw it very well.
He did. Skip, they were 11-16 on third down.
They were. But Mac Jones did not have any big plays. He had a lot of dinking and dunking. There was a lot of, I'll just take what they give me. And that'll be fine. That should be enough. And so in just total yards, they wound up with 393 to only 259 for Tua's offense, and they still lost 17-16.
And had the ball 13 more minutes.
They had the ball 13 more minutes, and to your point, 2 mistakes, one by my man Ramondre Stevenson, who fumbled early, and he'll be lost in the doghouse for the next month. He is their potential star. To me, he will have more impact long-term than Damian Harris will have. But Damian Harris was the crucial fumble because, to your point, it felt like they were about to seize control, and all of a sudden Xavier Howard comes in and he strips Damian. And that was enough for them to hang on and win that game in ways that I still can't quite fathom. I can't compute how they won the game. But the point is, I told you from the start, when preseason started, I told you that Bill Belichick will eventually go with Mac Jones because that's his style. That's the kid that he wants to be his long-term quarterback. And if he goes with the kid, he will cut Cam Newton. I'm here to tell you, just hypothetically, if Cam had started yesterday, he wins that game. He's just better. He's just, I'm talking about making a play or two that win the game. And again, that's That's no disrespect to the kid. It's his first game ever.
Right.
And he is playing in the shadow of Tom Brady, who in about a month, he's coming to Foxborough.
Yeah.
So the kid did about as well as you could expect him to do. But Cam Newton, the former MVP, the player who lifted an entire franchise to a Super Bowl, he's only 32. He's going to make a couple of plays in that game, right?
Especially with his legs.
He would make a play or two with his legs. He would get it in the end zone, and they would pull it out somehow like 22 to 16, whatever. He would just make enough plays.
Remember last year, Skip, against this very Dolphins team, what did he do? 15 carries, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
So he was one of their better running because they ran the ball exceptionally well last year, especially the first game. But he's that added dimension. He's another guy. Harris gives you 100. Cam's going to give you 55, 70. So now you're at 170, so you're probably going to be over 200.
Okay. So it's pay me now, pay me later.
Right.
Well, they paid yesterday for the future.
For the
because that's who he wants to go with. And I get it. I saw it coming. You were still clinging to Cam.
Yeah.
And yet you would have been right just yesterday. If you wanted to win your opening game and try to launch what will be a playoff season, you needed to have the veteran quarterback.
Right.
But Cam's aura, his personality is way too big to be the backup quarterback. And you wouldn't want to have started the kid yesterday and then insert Cam, as sort of a change of pace, Taysom Hill kind of a quarterback.
No,
you don't want to do that.
No, you don't, Skip. And you look at the 2-2 in the red zone, and what the other team was 1 of 4. Well, you Skip, you're not going to win.
That's play making. A lot of dinking and dunking.
Yeah.
A lot of high percentage throws made, completed, but big plays, no.
But guess what, Skip? Guess what happens when the field get condensed? You're in the red zone, and guys are not going to. Well, I can't back out the end zone, so guys, those windows that you have in the field, they will get even tighter. And I give you that 3-yard route. I just come up and make the play. It don't mean anything. You need at some point in time. They're going to have to let him loose, Skip, and let him threaten down the field. It just can't be those little swing to the back and little shallow cross and things like that. You're going to have to push the ball down the field. You're going to have to take the rings off him if you believe that. I understand. Bring him along great, but the league is different now than it was when Tom played.
I agree. So you kept his training wheels on yesterday, and you scored 16, and you lost by a point.
Right.
You better get busy now or you're going to get in trouble and you're going to miss the playoffs. You got a break that Buffalo lost at home, so nobody is going to separate. Buffalo's not going to run away with the division. So in the end, they missed Cam at least for one day.
Yeah, they did. But I thought the kid played well. The kid played well. And Tua pushed the ball down the field, Skip. You got to give him credit. He did push the ball down the field. He looks a lot better moving. Because I thought last year was supposed to be a redshirt year. The man had his hip. Basically, he had a hip replaced like I did. He wasn't supposed to be playing.
I just don't love him. I just don't. He's a soft armor. He's not that accurate.
But he got to get out of this. Just throw the ball up. If I just throw it up.
And he's not like crazy mobile.
No.
He can roll out a little bit. And I agree. He's better on the run, just sort of making a play.
Yeah.
But
because Skip, he's going to have to learn to throw from the pocket. He's going to have to learn to be like Kyler and Russ and Drew Brees, smallish guys that were able to throw from the pocket, but they're equally as dangerous, not Brees, on the move. Yeah. Kyler loves to be on the move and throw the ball. Russell loves to be on the move and throw the ball. But you're going to have to make your living in that pocket, and that's 6x9. And right now, he doesn't feel comfortable in there. He's always looking to escape.
Coach Genius is 0-1.
Skip, it's one game. They got 16 more to go.
It was one game. No mercy. Well, it was a defensive slugfest in Buffalo for 3 quarters, despite 2 marquee QBs in action. That was until Big Ben and the Steelers scored 17 in the 4th quarter to secure a 23-16 win. And afterward, Roethlisberger said, quote, "I'm proud of the guys because they didn't blink. They stood up in the face of not playing well early." And Skip, you've been big on Pittsburgh as a playoff team all offseason. So, Shannon, are you ready to buy into the Steelers as a playoff team after that?
Big N. Long O. No. The Buffalo gagged this one off. Yeah, they did. And that's a tough place to play. Mind you, now Buffalo has something to play for. They've gotten better over the last couple of years. That place started to rock it. But Skip, look. You can't The Bills outgained about 119 yards, ran 24 more plays, had 5 more minutes time of possession. Why in the hell would you let Josh Allen throw the ball 51 times? When you're running, you're getting 6.5 yards a clip, and you ask him to drop back and throw it 51 times against that. The one thing the Steelers pride themselves on in doing is being able to get after your quarterback. Did they not see T.J. Watt? He was there. I know maybe they didn't get the memo. Maybe they got snail mail, and they missed the part that he signed a contract extension, and he's going to be there because it's like, we just going to drop back and throw it. And I'm like, and I could tell because the opening kickoff, they run it back to the 25-yard line, Skip, and they go throw. I'm like, what the hell? You ain't going to try to throw, like, you ain't going to try to run one pass? It seems to me, Skip, Josh Allen is the MVP favorite. Well, we're going to let him get 400 on opening day, and the thing going to look really good. Josh Allen throws a front NFL MVP front runner. Josh Allen throws for 400 on opening day. Steelers say, no, you're not. Skip, I'm going to give the Steelers credit. They hung around. They went 5 straight punts to start the game. When you could have, like, put the game out of reach by running the football, you let them hang around because you throw, and you going up out of the game, and then you let T.J. Watt take the game over by taking the ball away. This was a lot more about what Buffalo didn't do, as opposed to what the Steelers did do. Give them credit. They hung around, and Ben talked about this. We didn't blink. The crowd was in the game, Skip. They got out, 10-0, and they said, you know what? We're still here. It should be 17-0. Maybe it should be 20-0. But we're still in this ball game. So, hey, let's stay. And the next thing you know, you look up. Now you're like, well, what happened? Well, you let Josh Allen throw the ball 51 times against that defense. He turned it over. You gave up a punt block. And I'm like, how you give up a punt block in that situation, guys? And everybody I'm looking at Skip, everybody looking back like, oh, damn, I hope that ain't my man. Bro, block. Buy a ticket if you want to watch the punter. Buy a ticket if you want to watch somebody block. Block.
I tried to warn you.
You ain't warned me nothing.
I tried to tell you. You wouldn't listen. You wouldn't listen. I love Pittsburgh's head coach. I've told you 100 times on this show, if I could play pro football, I'd want to play for that man. You want to talk about a pregame speech motivator. And I still love Big Ben Roethlisberger. His arm is getting stronger and stronger after that elbow reconstruction that plagued him all of last year. But I will remind you, as you well remember, they did win their first 11 last year. And it's hard in this league to win 11 straight games. And then the wheels came off because they finished dead last in rushing. So they went out later in the first round and they drafted what they thought was the best rusher on the market. Najee Harris from Alabama. Crimson Tide, Roll Tide, and he didn't really roll yesterday because he only averaged 2.8 yards per carry. 16 times he rushed for 45 yards. So he wasn't the difference. But Ben, even though he had a very low QBR, was Brady-esque. He made the plays that had to get made because they're down 10-0 at halftime, and they scored on their first 4 possessions of the second half. Really? First 4 possessions. You realize the Steelers at Buffalo in front of that crazed crowd, they won the second half 23-6. That's all you need to know, 23-6. And Ben made every big little play that he needed to make. And he got a big pass interference on it. He threw one up to Claypool, who got a pass interference, and then he threw one to Deontay Johnson in the corner of the end zone, if we could see this. And so the DB, because this is well covered, and he made a heck of a play. And that's the kind of play, if you're going to win
on the
division,
road.
If you're going to win, if you're going to upset Buffalo at Buffalo, you're going to have to make at least one of these kinds of plays. And every time I watch that kid play, I say, he's better than I thought. And then I say it again, he's better than I thought. He's better than I thought. Their defense is always better than I thought because they're well coached. They play hard. They're extremely physical. And you realize that Buffalo had the second highest scoring offense in the league last year to that one in Kansas City. And they were held yesterday by the Pittsburgh Steelers at home in the opener to 1 touchdown. He threw it, to your point, 50 times, but he only completed 31. That's not high percentage. So he's bombs away, and he can't make anything happen.
Yeah, but you got Singletary getting 6.5 yards a clip. They're averaging 4.7 yards a carry on 25 carries.
I agree with you.
There's no need.
Let's showcase the potential MVP
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Let's get him off to the races for the MVP. And you keep trying and trying and trying, and you get stifled and stymied and frustrated, and all of a sudden you look up and you've lost the second half 23-6, and you've lost the game 23-16.
Skip, the last thing you want to do, if you're facing a team that has a premier pass rusher, is to give him opportunity after opportunity to get to your quarterback. The more you drop back, he's going to get closer and closer. We're going to talk about this later. Aaron Donald, Chicago just kept throwing it. He kept getting close, Skip, and they weren't satisfied until what? He ended the game with a sack. T.J. Watt is as good as we have in the league on the edge rusher, and you gonna give him 51 opportunities. How many sacks do you think that guy would have if he went into a ball game and for 17 games they gave him 51 opportunities to put their quarterback on the ground?
Okay. T.J. Watt is a bad boy.
Yes.
And to me, right now at his peak, in his prime, he is more impactful than his older brother ever was.
No,
that's just me. Yes. No, because he's an edge rusher as opposed to his big brother would move around. Sometimes he'd come off the edge, but mostly he was a tackle.
He's 3-4.
He's more in the Aaron Donald mold, right? This guy comes off the edge like a terror. He is a little bigger than Von Miller.
Yeah.
And he is just flat out nasty coming off the edge, and he is a game disruptor where it's hard to keep him blocked.
Right.
He's going to get a hand on your quarterback.
He's more speed than Khalil Mack. But Von looked like Von yesterday. He looked like Von yesterday.
And they were right to pay him and bring him back. I got
Skip, you can't, if you're Buffalo and you're running the ball as well as they're running it, you can't ask the line. It's not like they make it seem like they got one of the top 5 offensive lines in football as far as pass protecting. They don't.
Yep. I got it. So what did Mike Tomlin say after the game? He said, this was not about style points. I don't care about style points.
Exactly.
It was not pretty. He said, we were up against a really good football team whose schematics haven't changed. They're a team that everything is in place, where they just keep doing the same things they've been doing for 3 years, and they get better and better as the players get older and wiser, right?
Right.
So he's saying, this is tough, man. I can tell you he was highly satisfied because that was, you can call it an ugly win if you want to call it, but it was a win on the road, and it's going to launch Pittsburgh. I think it's going to come down to Pittsburgh, Cleveland for that division.
Pretty soon, Lamar's going to have to play running back and quarterback.
I know. I don't love their chances now. I don't love their chances tonight against the Raiders at Raiders.
I would agree.
Yep.
But that's with anything, Skip. The more Josh Allen, this is what, 4th year in this offense. He has Diggs. So yes, the longer you're in a system, the more comfortable you get. Yeah. We do what we do. Now, you stop us. Like Tom, Skip, everybody knew what the Patriots going to do. Tom is going to dink and dunk. He catch you getting those. He going to throw the ball over your head.
Yep.
That's what they do. They just became great at it. They became better at doing it than you could at stopping it.
Okay. All I know is Ben Roethlisberger has won a whole bunch of football games in this league. Mike Tomlin has won a whole bunch of football games. They just keep winning slowly, quietly, surely through the years. The combination of those two, Ben's still at the end of his prime. He's going to have a big year. That's a playoff team to me. I think I just convinced you. Game over. I
want to see what Lamar. See if Lamar can pull this off tonight.
Okay. Well, he's going to have to do it by himself, basically.
Yeah, because they're running out.
He's going to have to be their running game and their passing game.
Yeah.
No mercy. Here's the latest. The Cowboys will be without La'el Collins for the next 5 games after a violation of the league's substance abuse policy. And that may open the door in the NFC East. And Jalen Hurts, well, he pushed right through it. The second-year quarterback led Philly to a huge 32-6 road win over Atlanta, putting them in first place in the division after New York and Washington joined Dallas in the losers column just right now. Shannon, you were big on the Washington football team winning the division, so Did this weekend's outcomes change your NFC East pick right now?
No. You heard Jenny say it? Losers. I mean, that thing just flowed off her tongue. Cowboys are losers.
Washington losers.
It's early, but that is a reality.
Mm-hmm.
Look.
Loser in Washington at home loss.
And an injury.
The Cowboys. Why is it always something with your team? Why can't you guys just be happy? Why can't y'all guys just do what you...
Why can't they just leave me alone? That's what I want to know.
No, you bothered them.
Leave me alone.
You started bothering them. You started following them.
Yeah.
Skip, look. I really don't have to pick a team because you know what? I got all the teams in this division, and I don't feel as comfortable as I did a week ago this time. I don't feel
you admit it.
Skip, Fitzpatrick is already out with a subluxation of his hip. If anybody knows subluxation, that's what Tua had. Mm-hmm. That's what Tua had in his hip. So what's the likelihood of him coming back? Now, Heineke came in and did unbelievable. Can he continue this? I was mainly disappointed in the defense for the Washington football team as opposed to the offense. Yep. Skip, you can't let a team put together a 15-play drive and end the game. You can't do that. But Philly looked good. Skip, I didn't see Philly coming. I ain't gonna lie, Skip. I didn't see them looking like this. Defensively, I thought they could get after the quarterback a little bit, but I didn't see their offense. And you see what they're doing. They'll say, Jalen Hurts, get the ball. Put the ball in Rager's hand quick. Watkins, quick. Devontae Smith, quick. Let them guys make plays. Got it. Hey, let them make plays for you. And he throw the ball or get out of harm's way. But, Skip, I can't put it. Skip, Atlanta terrible. I can't. Skip, come on. There's no other way around it. I know it's 1 week, but it's been 3.5 years for the Falcons defense in which they've been terrible. So I don't need to see week 2, week 5, week 10. That defense is going to be a bottom feeder. And so teams are going to feast on their defense. Now, hopefully their offense gets going with Pitts and Calvin Ridley and Matty Ice, but their defense is going to be terrible. The Eagles look really good. They looked a lot better offensively than I thought they were going to look. Jalen Hurts looked in complete command of that offense, but I can't take too much. The Giants are what we thought, Skip. At some point in time, Skip, Daniel Jones, I think the Giants might be thinking, you know what, guys, we might need to go into the draft and get the quarterback and move on. Because the turnover, Skip. Yep. How many more years you need to go see a guy just turn the ball time after time after time and say, you know what, that's just in him. That's just who he is. It's probably going to come down to the Cowboys and the Eagles, just like it did the last couple of years. Last year it was Washington football team. The year before that it was the Eagles. The year before that it was the Cowboys. And so since I got all three, I want to combine. Can I combine my 3 teams to go against your 1 team?
Which 3?
The Giants, the Eagles, and the Washington.
I gave you the field.
That's what I'm saying. I want to combine all. I want to take.
Combine their records?
I want to take players from each team to build me a team to play your.
Then you might have a chance
to play your team. But Skip, you know what y'all do now. I don't know why you sitting over there keying and you all happy because of what you saw. You did lose the game. I've never seen I've never seen fans take such joy in losing. Y'all get it. You lost.
I told you Friday morning, first thing up, the all-time greatest moral victory in the history of moral victories. It was so great that I heard, I don't know, this might just be speculation, the league office was considering awarding us a tie for that game.
Absolutely. Let me ask you a question. In all your years of writing columns, how many more victories did you appoint to a team?
Probably never. But I'd never seen anything like what they did at GOAT.
Yeah, you did. You done saw some great games that were losses.
First, I'm going to address my Cowboys. They are going to beat the other 3 teams to win the NFC least, and it is the least once again, as we saw yesterday.
They're going to run away with it?
I think they'll win it by 2 games. But I must admit, just when I'm ready to embrace my team, just when I'm ready to do cartwheels over my team, just when I'm ready to say they did everything but win that game at GOAT on opening Thursday night, Friday, I have to glance down at my computer and see this story. What? Lyle Collins is suspended not for 1 or 2 games, for 5 games?
Right.
Over substance abuse. One report said
he missed 7
something about missing tests.
Right.
Another report said the agent is appealing. Well, there are two things you can't beat. Brady in the clutch and the league office when you appeal. You're just not going to win.
But this is the second appeal. He already appealed the first one.
I got it. It's not going to get appealed. He is going to be gone for 5 games, and he looked sensational the other night. Did you hear JPP's name much? Nope, you did not. He's a stalwart. He's a stone wall. He and Ty Smith are back at the cornerstone positions.
Bookends.
Yeah, we got the bookends back, and they're both big, strong, smart studs. And all of a sudden, one is gone, and we managed to play the way we played without that right guard, who is Zach Martin, is going to be a Hall of Famer. They might all 3 be Hall of Famers before it's over, especially 2 of them, the left tackle and the right guard.
Right.
So now I'm pretty sure Zach Martin is back from COVID because they said he was very close to being back for that game.
Right.
So let's say he comes back. Well, all I know, they thought about doing this last year. Maybe you have to try him out at right tackle. I know, but Connor McGovern played really well at right guard the other night.
He hate playing right tackle.
Okay, I got it, because it's like foreign territory. You're completely out there on the edge. It's not who you are or what you do. But I'm going to have an undrafted free agent out there if that's what's going to happen.
Night.
Okay, all right. So it's nothing great. And obviously, they now have to go to the same Chargers who beat the team you picked at Washington. And it was a weird game because the score is pretty close, 20-16. But the numbers say that Washington got the kicked out of it.
It seemed like it was a blowout.
It did feel like it. And the numbers, look at these numbers. The Chargers went, is this possible, 14 of 19 on 3rd down against the defense that you picked? You kept telling me that front 7, it is.
I mentioned I was disappointed in how poorly they played.
Okay, so you were already, I want to get this straight. You have already leaped off the bandwagon of the Washington football team after 1 game at home.
I just
lost 20-16, and you're done with them?
All I said, Skip, I was disappointed with how they played. That's all I said.
Okay, well, I'm looking at these yards, and it's 424 to 259 for the home team, 424. Unfortunately, my team now has to go deal with that team at SoFi, so that's no walk in the park. So I'm not sure about that one. They're already a 2.5-point dog in that game. I thought it would be 3, so maybe they're giving them a little more respect.
Ain't nobody giving y'all respect.
Yep. So we deserve it because I think we earned it on opening night. But you never know. My team is so loaded and so powerful, and my quarterback is back. Dak is back. Maybe he could outgun Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert looked unbelievable.
I know. He's just lighting it up. And yet, Washington seemed to make plays because, as you said, Taylor Heineke, he scares me more than Fitzmagic does.
Yeah.
And he came in and he made one throw it was actually a very good throw, but it was the catch. It may stand up as the catch of the year. I don't know if you saw this one that McLaurin caught.
Yeah.
This is your guy. This is unbelievable. I still don't know. I don't know how he caught it. I don't know. You want to talk about adjusting to the ball? And through the hands of the DB, and you hang on. It's certainly the catch so far the year, and I think it will stand the test of time, and it may wind up being the catch of the whole year. Okay, so that even happened, and you still lost at home 20-16 because you couldn't score. And I thought, Gibson can run it, and McKissick can run it, but they couldn't run it against the Chargers the way I thought they'd run it against everybody.
And y'all won't be able to run it either.
I don't know.
I know.
We got Zeke.
Okay.
Not sure about that.
I mean, when you look at the chart, Skip, 14-19. First of all, I can't remember the last time I saw somebody had 19 third down attempts. That's a lot of attempts. And then you allowed them to be 74%. Normally, somebody's 74% on third down, Skip, they blow you out. Because that means they're on the field a long period of time. Almost 13 minutes time of possession in favor of the Chargers.
Yep.
And they only won by 4 points.
Okay. He threw 47 passes. He completed 31 for 337, and yet they only scored 20 points. So maybe I got a chance this Sunday. I don't know.
No chance.
But now brings me to what I've been trying to explain to you, trying to get through your hard head the whole preseason. Jalen Hurts is the real deal. I said it. After I watched him, certainly that year under Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma, where it was CeeDee Lamb or bust, and it was a lot of Jalen Hurts just making plays with his legs and his arm. And the moment they drafted him, they traded up to draft him, I said he will be better than Carson Wentz. And once again, it was Carson Wentz yesterday at Indy.
He laid another egg.
Okay, he laid another egg, and he lost an early fumble. I just don't love him. He's lost his confidence. He's lost his swagger. He's lost his way. Jalen Hurts is everything Carson Wentz is not in intangibles, in playmaking, in leadership. That team loves him. That team will fight for him because that team knows that when push comes to shove, he will push back and make a play with his legs, or he'll make a big little throw. I'm not saying he's got the greatest arm, but it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And if we could see the throws that he made yesterday for his touchdowns, it was a tour de force, man. And you can say Atlanta's horrible, and I'll give you that. But that's a sweet
That's a great throw. That's a great throw.
Yep. And then he steps up, and he moves sideways, and he throws a little rocket to Goddard.
Goddard
for the touchdown.
Look at this. Rager.
Rager gets loose. I don't love him, but he can run.
Oh, he can fly, yeah.
And speaking of running, could we see Jalen run? Because Jalen can flat out run it. And again, he's not Lamar. He doesn't have that kind of burst.
He's more of a strider, Skip.
He's a strider.
Look at him just starting to pull away from people.
Just easy speed and strength. They always say pound for pound in the weight room, there's nobody stronger than Jalen Hurts. And he also has the intangibles. He just wins. I told you last year, there's some Tebow going on. It's sort of the Tebow syndrome, but he's better. He's got a more accurate arm from start to finish. And I know he struggled for a really bad, just a team that had basically
it was dysfunction.
Quit last year. And now you got a new young coach, and you got a new direction, and you got your offensive line sort of back.
If they can stay healthy, Skip, Kelsey, think about it. Kelsey, Brooks, and Lane Johnson, it was the first time playing together since 2019.
And their pass rush is pretty serious.
Oh, Fletcher and those guys can still.
Hargrave.
They can still. They can still get after the quarterback. But Scott, I'm surprised. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm surprised with how well the Eagles played. I don't know. Are they that good, or is the situation where the Falcons are really that bad? I think the Falcons defensively are really bad. So we'll get a better opportunity to see just how good the Eagles are moving forward.
They took apart Atlanta at Atlanta, even more so than New Orleans took apart Green Bay. To me, it was more devastating what they did because they just ran all over them. It was not even close from the snap. You know, just they took them apart.
But Skip, Atlanta defensively hadn't been good.
No,
they got that one year, 2016, and when they blew 28-3, Skip, it's never been the same defensively for them. Offensively, they still put up numbers. Matt Ryan, 4,000-yard season. He got 10 consecutive 4,000-yard seasons. We knew what Julio put up. We saw Calvin really put up those monster numbers. Man, the guy that he was at Atlanta, he ended up going to Cleveland, Skip, the tight end. He got paid, went to the Pro Bowl.
Austin Hooper.
So, Skip, we know offensively what they can do. It's the defense. They can't stop anybody.
And we both love Kyle Pitts before the draft. And so they threw him 8 balls yesterday, and he caught 4 for 31, and it was quiet. I don't even remember him.
Skip, it's you just don't. I understand he's immensely talented. He got skill like the yang. Big, tall, he can run, got a huge catch radius, nice route running, nice run after the catch. But this is the NFL, bro. They're gonna make you show them you are what everybody says you are.
I agree.
Nobody's afraid of anybody in this league.
No. Jalen Hurts is what I thought he was. And they are going to challenge the Cowboys. Are they your new hot team now? Are you on that bandwagon?
When they play the Cowboys? When they play the Cowboys? When they play the Cowboys at first? That's what I need to know.
They go to Jerry World.
Oh, yeah, that's an easy win for us.
Really? I think it's pretty soon here.
How many weeks? 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's the first home game.
Oh, that's the first home game?
Yeah, you want any do on that? Much as I love Jalen, I love my team more.
And the word of my great, I don't mind if I do.
Really?
I don't mind if I do. Take me on case or two.
Well, we may have to win that one to make it our first win of the year.
Y'all didn't win that.
I told you.
Y'all didn't win that. Jalen Hurts ain't gonna let y'all win that one.
Really? Oh, do we have some do on it? At least one case. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's do one case. Let's do one case.
Thank you. Thank you.
So are you feeling confident?
Yeah, I feel real confident on Jalen Hurts.
No mercy.
The Chiefs had never lost a game in September with Patrick Mahomes under center. Wow, and that didn't change yesterday. Kansas City superstar helped his team rally back from a 12-point deficit as he threw 3 touchdowns in the second half to secure a late fourth-quarter lead. Mahomes also ran for another touchdown earlier in the game and looked like an MVP candidate yet again. I know it's early, but Shannon, did Patrick Mahomes prove yesterday he is still the best quarterback in the league?
You that dude, Skip. You that guy. Yeah. I mean, I'm just running. I'm running. I mean, for Shannon Sharpe to be speechless. Yeah. For Shannon Sharpe to be baffled, befuddled, bewildered, a loss for words. I mean, what else do I?
That was Thursday night, right?
No.
Okay.
No, you got through 2 picks. There's just anything that he can't do. He runs the football well enough with his athletic ability. He's not Kyler. He's not Lamar Jackson. But he runs well enough that you have to respect him, that he can get a first down. And you saw him getting a touchdown. He still got the greatest run in playoff history, that 23-yard against the Tennessee Titans that you say they were
greatest run in playoff history
for a quarterback.
In which nobody tried to
For a quarterback. Every inch of the field is in play for him, no matter where he is on the field. He can be on the right side, and 60 yards on the left side is in play. He can be on the left side, and 60 yards on the right side is in play. He can just do things that very few people that have ever thrown a football in the NFL can do. He's 39-8 in 47 regular season games. Last 4 is regular season games. He's 21 of 22 in his last He won 21 of 22 last regular season game. Yesterday broke Kurt Warner's most passing yards in 50 starts, broke Marino's record for touchdown in 50. And guess what, Skip? You got 3 more games to go. Skip, he the best. Skip, he's not the most accomplished. But right now, I don't believe there's one quarterback. You give the general managers 30 of 32 teams would take 15. He's only 26. You got 15 more years to deal with him, Skip.
You got 4 or 5 more to deal with Tom Brady.
I got 4 or 5 more months.
Is that another prediction? Can I hold you to that one? This is Brady's last year. You've been saying it for 5 years.
It's contingent
on them winning another Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think you got to go undefeated. We got like 10 kids that ain't going undefeated. But anyway, I think if he goes undefeated, they walk up for the Suns.
So, just a few minutes ago here in Los Angeles, we had a little tremor that rocked our studio, right? I believe it was God's way of expressing his displeasure with this question. We should not even be asking this question.
Whatever.
It is blasphemy. It is ultimate disrespect to Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., who just won his 7th Super Bowl, and I believe is on his way to winning his 8th Super Bowl. And Mahomes, I hope he's in the way, because we'll just step right on him and step right over him like we always do.
No.
Because AFC Championship game at Arrowhead in the cold, in overtime, Brady converts 3 straight 3rd and 10s. It's impossibly great. Right. He did that to Mahomes. Mahomes can't play defense, but he did it to him. Right under his nose, in his house, game over, Super Bowl. And you know what happened in the last Super Bowl? Oh, you didn't have your offensive line, but...
You know that.
You know, Brady would, if you'd switch places, Brady would have done a lot better behind that line. Yes, he would have, because he gets rid of the football and he knows how, and he's a much quicker reader of the defense than Patrick is. Patrick wants to hold the ball and throw the home run.
Let me ask you a question. Is Dak a better quarterback than Mahomes? Because Dak threw for 403 against that same defense.
No, he's not.
Okay.
Obviously, he's not. But on display on Thursday night was Tom Brady at his greatest. I've never seen him play better than he played that night. And even you, the Hall of Famer that you are, disqualified both of his interceptions as a desperation Hail Mary jump ball that happened to be tipped in the wrong direction at the end of the half. And obviously the little floater to Fournette did hit him right in the hands, and it glanced off right to my man Trevon Diggs. Other than that, Tom Brady played a flawless football game, and I have never seen him throw it with more velocity and accuracy than he did in that game. So to me, he is still the best. He is still the greatest leader in the history of sports, and he has incredibly turned around the Succaneers into a dynasty. I think they're a dynasty. I don't see...
Man, you got to win more than one championship. Okay. Talk about you a dynasty.
How about two?
No, two and a push. You got to at least get to the championship game, then we'll consider you a dynasty.
How about three? Because I can see this team...
Three is a dynasty.
Yeah, well, because no one's ever done three in a row.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I believe Brady has his sights on. I believe he also has his sights this year on 20-0.
That ain't happening.
Because they're going to be favored to win every game. So you are in harm's way because, by the way, they get Atlanta this coming.
Oh,
okay. All right, so we'll see if Brady can put up. Maybe it'll be so easy he won't be able to throw for many yards. Maybe they can just run over Atlanta the way Philly did.
Well, you know Bruce Arians run the score up on you. Look, I'm playing. Play the guy. It all depends. How bad is the score? I mean, if the score is 35-3 at the half, Brady's probably done. Okay. I still say that Mahomes gets away with things, and it's in part because he just believes. But sometimes, somewhere in that moment yesterday, he's going to throw one that is going to bite him. And you can't keep getting away with that 75-yarder. Yeah, you can.
I got to tell you, this is pure luck to me.
But he's done it too many times for it to be luck.
Well, this is luck. I don't care about the previous ones. This is luck. He's rolling. Just eat it.
No, don't eat it. Throw this thing away.
And so he throws it up, and it floated. It hung.
Out.
And I'm saying, what is John Johnson? They paid him a ton of money on the free agent market to make this play. And he's cut him off at the pass. He's got him covered. He's going to be just fine, but you have to turn and find the football. If John Johnson turns and finds the football, it's as much his as Tyreek's. Okay, so you just kind of float one up there. I don't know. And remember the play in the Super Bowl? He just floats it to Tyreek on the third down play, and he gets blasted in the face by the rusher, and he just floats it up. And, you know, he gets away with these kinds of plays because this can burn you as much as it can make you.
He's so gifted, Skip. Guess what happens when you don't have to run 500 yards in the Super Bowl to try to make every throw? That's what happened in the Super Bowl. The man scrambled for 500 yards. 500.
And the run yesterday for the first touchdown
you saw that?
He scored reminded me a lot of the run against the Titans when the Titans decided...
We got that touchdown?
You can't tackle him. It's almost like it's a joint scrimmage and he's got a target on and you can't tackle him. Could somebody just come up and hit him?
Oh, fake him. The fake. That fake, get him every time.
Okay, he gives himself up as a running back. He's just sort of sauntering into the end zone. Could somebody just blast him? Just somebody come in and just clean his clock.
Yeah, the fake.
Him like he's...
You remember the fake? You remember how he did the fake? Oh, Tennessee, he faked it out and hit down the sideline, turned the burners on, looked like Tyreek.
But this is a case of... It's like teams hold him with such an aura about him. It's like he's protected by his aura.
What do you think they do about Brady?
Let me
ask you a question. You think somebody would have hit the way Justin Fields got hit in the preseason? You think somebody going to try to unload on Tom Brady like that? They don't want to be the guy that knocked Tom Brady out.
Khalil Mack did on that Thursday night last year. He hit him a couple times and just knocked
Khalil, Khalil one of them old school guys.
Okay.
But for the most part, Skip, do you want to be the guy that hit Tom Brady and Tom Brady doesn't play anymore? Is that what you want on your resume?
I think Patrick Mahomes is even more hands-off than Tom Brady.
No, Tom is.
Yes.
Skip, they changed the rules for Tom. They ain't even got no rules yet, but we're going to come up with something.
Yeah. They did change the rule back.
They're about to start capping it. You can't throw more than 40 touchdowns in a season after we get another 50.
By the way, your man Mac Jones got away with the Brady rule because before he threw his touchdown pass Landon Roberts comes in and just takes him down. I don't know. I thought it was a clean play.
He wrapped him up. He didn't put his... Yeah.
He didn't. But it's like if you have your plant leg and somebody rolls into you late.
Right.
See Brady 0-8, right? Game one, opening day, loss for the year. So they made the Tom Brady rule, and ironically, it saves Mac Jones because then the next play, it's 2 plays later, he throws to Aguilar for a touchdown.
Right.
So it's the Tom Brady rule. But in this case, Patrick Mahomes gets away with so much. It's almost like with him, it's flag football. All you do is 2 below touch, you know?
Skip, the guy was down 12. He's down 9 in the fourth quarter. And you look at his record when he's down by double digits, and you look at the other greats, Brady and because they only had 3 guys, Montana, and Brady. Those guys are in the 30 percentile. This man wins 60+% of his games when he's down by double digits. That's absurd. That's unheard of.
It is. I give you that. He's still going to have to deal with the Cleveland Browns before this is over.
We just dealt with them.
Okay, you dealt with them in game 1 at home, and they had you on the ropes. You have to admit you were on the ropes.
Rope-a-dope.
Yeah,
that was the rope-a-dope. Got him tired. And then guess what happened?
The guy who doesn't fumble, Nick Chubb, fumbled.
Right.
And the poor punter has his first punt of the game with 8 minutes left, and it's the first time they'd been stopped the whole game. They hadn't punted until 8 minutes were left in the game.
Yep.
That's the statement that Baker's offense made. And the punter muffs it. And the punter doesn't even try to kick it, and all of a sudden you just give them points. You just hand them points. Well, obviously, if you're going to do those two things, you're going to lose that game.
Well, look, Skip.
Okay, let's see what happens. The Browns showed you. They flashed their firepower. And remember, they did it without Odell. And I don't know what his status is going to be, but that Schwartz kid can fly.
Yeah, when they get Odell back, they're going to be, then I might have to reassess. But, Skip, you can't let homeboy go 9-13, almost 70% on third down. You know what it takes to beat them. Very few teams you say, well, you got to get somewhere to the mid-30s, and we got to possess the football, and we got to steal one possession, maybe two, for them in order to win. If you play them head up, you don't take the ball from them, and you don't get to 20, 30, it's going to be virtually impossible for you to beat my homeboy.
Okay.
Your building, his building, don't matter. You know that, Skip. Skip, you witnessed, you've never seen anything like it. You've never seen a quarterback this young be this good, ever. And you might not ever see it again.
7 Super Bowls, 44 going on 24. Best game I think I've ever seen play in the regular season just happened to be on opening Thursday night at 44.
You do realize this man has yet to throw it. I don't want to jinx him, but he's never thrown an interception in September. 35-0.
Jinx him. Go ahead.
You do realize that, right, Skip?
Thank you.
You do realize that, Skip. Okay. How is that possible?
Is September December? No, it's not.
Oh, Skip.
Is it January?
Is he going to be
No.
there? So are you saying they won't be there in December and January? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying the Browns will get them before they get back to the Bucs. You've got them beating the Bucs, which is preposterous in and of itself.
Skip, I think you saw that the Bucs are not invincible.
No, I think you saw that the Cowboys are way better.
No.
That's what you saw.
You talk about the defense is better. You get 4 turnovers and still give up 31? So what happens if you don't get turnovers? How many points are you going to give up? 38, 42, 45?
The Bucs will just get better and better. And Brady is going to win MVP at 44.
So let me ask you a question.
It's about narrative.
You believe Patrick Mahomes is tapped out. This is the best he's going to play, what we saw yesterday.
He's September to remember. And then what happens?
Skip, are you really? The man has been the last 2 Super Bowls. And you talking about what?
We'll see. I don't think he can get past Cleveland. I am sticking with Cleveland. I saw enough yesterday. I love what I saw in the big picture from the Browns.
Every year he's been a starter, he's gone at least to the NFC Championship game. The last 2 years to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
He's only going to get better, Skip.
I hope he gets back so that he gets to Brady it again. Because that would be...
It'll be a different story.
Really?
It'll be a different story.
Okay. How many cases do we have bet on that?
Whatever you want to bet.
Unfortunately, it'll get disqualified. He will not get there.
Oh, he getting there. Yeah. You know what? You're right. Your team probably ain't going to make it.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, that was
because who's going to beat them?
Skip.
Dallas?
Your day coming. Your day.
My day has come.
I got a 26-year-old. I got a 26-year-old. You got a 44-year-old.
Yeah.
You got another 12 months maybe?
My guy doesn't need to scramble to the sideline and fall out of bounds and close his eyes and throw it as far as he can. It was like an Eli play.
I mean, think about what, Skip, you do realize this man rolling throws it out of bounds as far as Tom Brady with a clean pocket.
Really? I'll take the guy with the clean pocket.
I would too. Yeah. I would like to have a clean pocket.
He will clean your pockets out.
Can you imagine if my homeboy had a clean pocket, what he would do? Can you imagine what that man could do with a clean pocket?
He doesn't know what to do with it because he's not comfortable with it.
He's comfortable.
Yeah.
But it don't matter. He said, "No, hey, Just getting their way, just temporarily getting their way.
Shannon, you said 26. He's not even 26 yet. His birthday's Friday. September is a good month.
Why did he go? Oh, man. That man, he did all this by 25?
That makes it even worse.
September to remember for Patrick Mahomes.
You a hater too,
No
Skip.
wonder he does so well.
Yes.
He's a Virgo. It makes total sense now.
No mercy.
Despite only passing for 148 yards, Jameis Winston still threw for 5 touchdowns in the Saints' 38-3 blowout win over the Packers. This was Winston's first career start for New Orleans as the team looks to still contend for a Super Bowl in their first year without future Hall of Famer Drew Brees under center. So, Shannon, can Sean Payton win with Jameis as successfully as he did with Drew Brees?
I'm not willing to go that far just yet, Skip. But I do believe he provides something different than what Drew provided over the last several years. Drew clearly didn't have the arm strength to throw the ball over people's heads consistently as Jameis can. He let you see that. It was on full display at the 55-yard touchdown. That's something Drew couldn't do towards the tail end of his career, Skip. And it's not so much, Jenny mentioned the 148 yards and the 5 touchdowns. That's good. What got Jameis in trouble was the 380 yards with the 3 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. It was the big statistical days, Skip, marred by the turnovers. Here, he didn't have a great statistic as far as throwing the football. The touchdowns you can live with. Skip, you throw for 5,000 yards, clearly you can throw the football. There haven't been very many of those in the history of the NFL.
Agreed.
Now, they might be an uptick now that you get the extra game.
Maybe.
But in the 16-game schedule, there hadn't been very many of them. Jameis Winston can say, I'm one of the few guys, handful of guys, that's thrown for 5,000 yards. We know he can do that. But what got him in trouble was he would throw for 300-400 yards, and then he would throw 3-4 picks in there, and it would just, well, damn, Jameis, yeah, you threw for 300, but you basically gifted them the game by turning the ball over.
Yep.
This is what he has to do. Now, Skip, I'm not saying that he has to tamper it down because I don't believe he's going to throw for 5 touchdowns and 148. He's going to have to be above the 250. He's going to have a couple of 300-yard games in there, which I believe he can do. But what he cannot do is put the ball in harm's way. That's what got him up out of Tampa. That's what it was, the interceptions, the turnovers. You can't turn the ball over in this league. This is not Florida State. This is not where you're just so much more talented than everybody else that you can turn the ball over and overcome it. Not in this league.
Yep.
Even the best teams, you turn it over, you get beat to inferior teams. That's why coaches, they harp on that. Protect the football.
Agreed.
But I like what I saw, Skip. Sean Payton can call plays. I think Sean Payton is very pleased with his decision that I named Jameis Winston the starter.
Agreed.
And it's, you know what? At least for a week, because this is the way coaches think. Skip, they only think in week increments. They don't think that at all. For this week, I was proven right.
Yeah. Yesterday, to me, gave me pause because I sat back at the end of that blowout beatdown, and I thought, does Sean Payton actually deserve more credit for Drew Brees than we ever gave him credit for? And I realized it's one game.
Right.
But, man, for Jameis, it was the game.
Yeah.
I couldn't recognize Jameis because the guy I saw at Tampa was not that guy.
Right.
All of a sudden, he was in the palm of Sean Payton's hand with the play calls because he's probably the best in the league. It's hard to gauge it from week to week.
Kyle Shannon and Sean McVay.
Yeah, they're up there. I got it. But this guy is just genius level at the passing game. Kyle's more of a run game caller where they just get you on your heels and they just run you off the field. But man, this guy, you can already see how he's putting Jameis in positions to do to bring the very best out of Jameis. What do we see at Florida State? We saw Jameis involved in this incident and that incident. So his personality is, whoops, I got in that. I did that. Whoops, yeah. I got in that one. But what did he do? They won the national championship.
Correct.
He is a winner. He's a leader, but he's immature, and he got involved in too many things off the field, but I still supported him to be the first overall pick.
Right.
And at Tampa, he flashed greatness. Yeah. I mean greatness, because if you go over 30 and over 30, right. I'm talking about touchdowns, interceptions.
Good rookie of the year. He made a Pro Bowl, made a couple of Pro Bowls.
Hey, you see it. And Sean Payton, because he's in love with Taysom Hill, because he took him off the scrap heap out of Green Bay.
Taysom Hill can't do what this kid
No,
can.
he can't. He cannot do it. But you can still use Taysom. Because Jameis has no cachet, so he can't really argue. Like, you really want to put him in now?
Yeah, like that 12 yard. Drew Brees ain't picking that up.
No. Okay, I got it. But it was the very best of Jameis yesterday, and I was highly impressed with those. If we could just quickly see the touchdown throws, they're just, well, they're Drew Brees-like.
Yeah.
Because they're Drew Brees plays. And
Alvin Kamara was Alvin Kamara.
Okay. You knew that was coming, and then that'll work, and then this will work to Chris Hogan. He's back.
He's back.
7-11, always open. And then Jawan, another one.
Look at this.
And then this is the bomb, which you're right. And yet you realize that was a 55-yard pass early in the fourth quarter that barely put Jameis Winston over 100 yards passing.
Yeah.
But he went 4 for 4 in the red zone. Okay? That's how you win football games. He turned it over 0 times.
Yes. Okay. The problem was, Skip, the turnovers. Like I said, he'd have these huge days, Skip. He'd throw it for 300, 400 yards, but he's got 3 turnovers. He's got 3 picks with a fumble. Where you're losing the game. He's like, well, damn, Jameis would have really played well if he cleaned up the turnovers. Well, that's what Sean Payton said. But he's always been a turnover machine, Skip. Yes. You go back to college, Jameis Winston turned the ball over a bunch.
Okay, it's part of his nature.
Yes.
I'm going to try this.
And then he went to he had the perfect coach, because what is it? On the side of the championship, no risk it, no biscuit. But that's not the way Brady's like, hey, I'm willing to risk it some, but I ain't trying to eat biscuits all the time. You know, I'm good. We're not throwing Hail Marys 5 times a game, Bruce.
So it'll be very fascinating to watch if the new Jameis lasts under Sean Payton.
I think he will.
Okay.
Because the thing is, Skip, he understands, he's checking the landscape. There's not a place for a guy that turns the ball over, and because he sees Cam, he's like, well, damn, Cam ain't even got a job.
That's a fact.
So, let me change.
No mercy.
Sunday, George Kittle leads the Niners against the Eagles. Or Matt Ryan and the Falcons take on Tom Brady and the defending champion Bucs. So check local listings for the game in your area, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Well, Kyler Murray was hitting all the notes in Music City against the Titans as he scored 5 total touchdowns to help the Cardinals win 38-13. But despite that dominant victory, Arizona is still in a 4-way tie atop the NFC West as Seattle and San Francisco both won on the road in the early games, while Matthew Stafford dazzled in primetime in his Rams debut with a win over the Bears. What a start. Shannon, after what you saw yesterday, who wins the NFC West?
Yeah, we've been talking about this all along. This is the toughest division in football.
I think by far.
All the quarterbacks. Stafford was 321 and 3 touchdowns. Kyler Murray was 289 and 5 total touchdowns. Russell had 4 touchdowns and 5 incompletions. And Jimmy G threw for over 300 yards, and they scored 41. So if you put my feet to the fire, which they are right now, I got to pick one. I think I'm going to take the Rams, because I believe they're they have two of the best defensive players on the same team. Now, Chandler Jones was on another level. They're going to have to pay him sooner than later, Skip. But
5 sacks?
5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 4 tackles for losses. And so I'm gonna take the Rams, Skip. But I think Matthew Stafford in this offense and what he can do, and I know it's one game, Skip, and I say I know it's one game, but you got to admit he looked good. He looked good, Skip. And what can he be in this offense? I'm not saying he's going to, but in the West Coast system, when you look at Patrick Mahomes in the system, a guy that can throw the ball over your head and he's got great mobility, can make all the throws. Because Matthew Stafford did a sidearm last night.
He did.
John Elway in this system, Brett Favre in this system, Rodgers, guys that have big, powerful arms that can throw the ball over the top. That's what he can do. I'm going to take them. But the Cardinals are not to be messed with.
Nope.
With Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt, and then those 2 linebackers inside with Isaiah Simmons and Zaven Collins, and Buda Baker on the back end. Skip, this division, all 4 teams might make the playoffs. The division winner and the 3 might be the wild cards. I'll put it to you like that, Skip. That's the best I got for you.
I'm going to start at the bottom with the young quarterback I like the most. Trey Lance has a fractured, he's got a chip bone in his index finger of his throwing hand. He got in for a couple plays.
Threw a dub.
Touchdown pass to Trent Sherfield.
Bad
University. They're everywhere. But the point is, I'm afraid they're going to be the odd team out because I think they're going to have a quarterback quandary going forward. Like, which way do we go? And they lost Mostert yesterday.
Yeah. And they lost their DB.
Yeah, I know. And it does, with the running backs, they just put in another one, and he'll go for 130. And they put in that kid yesterday, and he went for 130. But the point is, they're going to have a hard time until they decide which way to go at quarterback.
Correct.
Now, Matt Stafford lit up the night last night on Sunday Night Football, and I heard this morning they already gave him a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame because of it, but I'm not going to buy completely in just yet. To your point, I rode with Kyler last year, and they were riding high until about midway, and he got beat up, and that was the end of that deal. Right. Can they keep him a little cleaner and healthier this year? I'm going to say he's learned some lessons about how quickly to get down and how to get down in the pocket. I think they are the force to be reckoned with because they went to Tennessee yesterday and dismantled. It's 38-13. Are you kidding? Because I thought Tennessee was respectable.
That defense.
Okay. All right. But I thought they were just going to be respectable. Tannehill sort of found a rebirth there.
Yeah.
Under Vrabel, and I just thought that Derrick Henry could get his 100, but he couldn't. He couldn't get out of the blocks. And this was a tour de force by a team on the verge of doing great things. So I'm going to ride with Kyler again. I'm going to give them a slight edge in by far the best division.
Over Seattle?
Over Seattle.
Wow, okay.
And over the Rams. Yeah. I'm going to say they win the division.
Right.
Again, those other like you said, it's got potential for all four to make the playoffs because they're that good.
They really, and Russ, but Skip, the thing that concerns me about Russ, we've seen this the last 2 years.
Yep.
Russ get off to this blazing start until about week 10. And then all of a sudden, he starts coming back down to earth. But he takes off straight up like a rocket. I mean, probably by week 10, Russ will have 32, 33 touchdowns. But Skip, this division looked really tough. And the defenses, I think the Rams got a defense. The Cards finally, with Vance Joseph dialing it up, he got two bookends.
Firepower.
Got two linebackers that can float to the ball, and Buda Baker on the back end still making plays. It's going to be very interesting in this division.
No mercy.
According to Fox Bet Sportsbook, top pick Trevor Lawrence is still favored to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, despite the Jaguars losing to the Texans 37-21 yesterday. And meanwhile, number 2 overall pick Zach Wilson threw 2 touchdowns and 1 pick in the Jets' loss to the Panthers. So Shannon, who had the better debut, Lawrence or Wilson?
Skip, both guys played well, I thought, if you could say that on a loss. But Trevor Lawrence made plays that you like, that's why that kid was the number 1 pick. And then he come around and he throws again. You're like, bro, you should have been a 6th rounder. What are you doing? You can't do that. I think Zach Wilson, Skip, because I believe he has better talent around here. I know they went out and got Marvin Jones Jr. and Laviska Shenault and all these guys, but I still like Corey Davis for the Jets. I like what they're doing with the Jets. I just think they're putting, kid can't throw 51 times. Your first game, open out the gate, 51 attempts.
So Zach Wilson had a considerably better QBR than Trevor Lawrence did. But I'm with you. Trevor Lawrence won my eye test. He did some really stupid things that you just can't do. Even at Clemson, you can't do those things. But he threw 4 or 5 passes where I just took my breath away, and I said, you know what? That's the first pick in the draft.
I think Trevor Lawrence tried to get Urban back with us.
You think so?
I think he's trying to get Urban back with us.
I think Urban's going to have some issues, but he's going to be just fine because he's got a lot of Jimmy Johnson with him.
I hope so.
Fine, but you know what I do know about Urban? He doesn't like losing, guys. He does not like that feeling. Skip, Shannon, great stuff today. We are back same time tomorrow morning. The Herd's on now. Have a good day.